13,382 receiving yards. That's 17th all-time. 920 reception. That's 26th all-time. And his 77.4 yards per game is top 10. 10th all-time. Torry Big Game Holt right here on the Rich Eisen Show.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Did I get
Absolutely.
this right?
That sounds about right, man. 11-year career. So in that span, man, I was hitting it, from the time I got drafted to the time I left.
Well, you at 99 was your first year.
99 was my first year.
Okay, and then then the aughts hit. You're looking, by the way, at the all-time record holder for most receiving yards by an individual in a single decade. In the aughts, 12,594 receiving yards. Nobody had more than you. Dang. And there's a lot of people in the Hall of Fame that don't have that record. Right. And I'm going to keep making references like that, Torry. Don't worry. You don't have to say anything. I will do all the talking here.
We came for you here.
We're here. We are exactly that. What was it like to be on that team as a rookie, and then the whole business with Kurt coming in and Sean going down, and all of that happening?
Unbelievable, Rich. Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. To this day,
Trent going down. Pardon me.
Yeah, that to this day, that football team, our football team, we're still close to this day, and that's how it was when we played. We had built a brotherhood, a bond. That Coach Ramil was, he orchestrated. He was really adamant about us getting to know one another on a personal level.
But you're fresh out of college, right?
Fresh out of college.
Okay, Vermeil's as old school as they come.
Old school is hardcore old school.
Right.
Whereas to the point where we're practicing in training camp, and at the end of practice, we have 2-minute drills live. Mm-hmm. We have time gassers live, full padded.
Yes.
So it was hardcore, but he got us ready for the big game.
Right.
And all of that blood, sweat, and tears, and those grinding out days, and that Super Bowl when we had to grind out a drive, had to grind out stopping them, those days that he put us through got us to the point where we was champions.
And again, your first taste of the NFL, and there's a massive quarterback change that upends everything.
Yep.
And now you're having to learn with Kurt Warner, learn who he is and learn all of that stuff. What was that like for you in the very beginning of your career?
Well, as a rookie, you're just doing what you're told to do.
Sure.
I didn't know what I didn't know. And
right.
Kurt was, once he got his opportunity, he was ready. And his style of play coming from the Arena League, and then his story of getting to the point where he was at in St. Louis, he was ready, man. And then he was also with guys, myself, Isaac, Marshall, Orlando. He was with so many Hall of Fame caliber players. We didn't realize we was Hall of Fame caliber players at the time, but we was really good football players that all wanted the same thing, and that was to be good and really hone in on our individual skills at our individual position. And Kurt carried it on from the quarterback position. You know how critical and important that position is. Mm-hmm. He hit the ground running, and he was ready. He was prepared. I would say, watching Kurt in practice, watching Kurt in the film room, getting ready and prepared for the situation was phenomenal. And then when he went out on the football field and we practiced, there were days, and he can tell you this, and I've been saying this a few times since I've been here in London, there were days where the ball didn't touch the ground. It was phenomenal. Our practices would beat teams' games on Sunday. That's how good we were.
Yeah.
And a lot of it stemmed from Kurt's preparation, our preparation, and then Coach Martz was just so good at drawing up and scheming us and putting us in positions that highlighted our skill sets. And he did that with Kurt. Kurt would hit that back foot, and if we were running digs, which was 22, 25 yards down the field, that ball had to be 2 yards inside the numbers. Kurt hit that back foot. He can close his eyes and he'd throw it 2 yards inside the numbers. He was awesome.
And before we move on to the present day, one of my favorite people, and easily the smartest football guy I've ever been around.
Marshall.
Yes. Yes, you could finish the sentence. Right?
Yeah.
And
Marshall Faulk.
And in terms of Marshall Faulk, the guy to your right, Chris Brockman, was his segment producer on NFL Game Day Morning a couple of years as well.
Yes, so you know.
And he would be able to call an interception watching football games with him, saying, "Oh, this is going to be an interception," based on the way everyone was lining up. What was he like for you as a rookie? or somebody starting out and being in this offense?
I was super excited because I grew up watching Marshall on Thursday nights at San Diego State. So
middle of the night,
at the middle of the night,
yeah.
my parents, my pops, we lived in an apartment, small apartment, and we were downstairs, and we would have the game on. You know, we have it up because we wanted to hear the commentating and them talking about Marshall. And I just remember watching this kid. I was like, who was this black kid? And it's all black, killing everybody. No one was talking, like on the East Coast. No one was talking about him.
Yeah.
But we, as football fans, we knew who he was and we loved him. And so when I finally got a chance to play with him, he got into camp. I found myself just at times just watching him do his thing. And Coach L. Saunders would tell me, hey, you got to get into play. You got a job to do. I'm like, I am. I'm watching one of the guys. I'm watching 2-8. One of the guys that I grew up watching and admired and loved the way that he played the game. And then when I actually got in the meeting rooms with him and got in the huddle with him and understood his smarts and his intellect, I knew right then that we could be really, really special if we stayed healthy, if we stayed together. We had a incredible back. Not only was Marshall good running the football, as we all know,
catching it.
He can catch it.
He knew every position on the field, right?
Knew every position on the field. Knew every position on the field and that position assignment. But he was a really good route runner too. I mean, he could run the whole entire route tree. I mean, this dude was phenomenal. Phenomenal athlete. Doesn't look like much. He's not cut up and jacked up like a Derrick Henry or someone.
Right.
But when he put, as Isaac used to say, when he put that cape on, he was the best. He was one of the best to ever do it. Certainly.
Torry Holt is here on the Rich Eisen Show. So news breaking that looks like Puka's not playing.
Yeah, I saw that
on Sunday.
Yeah,
and so he's who's the best receiver in the NFL today? Is he in that conversation? Do you have to?
Sure. You got to put him in that conversation.
Okay. Who else is?
But my guy's Chase.
Okay.
Look, Ja'Marr Chase is prolific. Size, strength, speed, routes, hands, understanding the game, understanding the position, awareness. Ja'Marr Chase is the guy. We saw that last night.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a guy. He can catch 10+ balls a game. One, because he has the physical makeup, and then he has the ability to run routes, and he's savvy and he's smooth. I mean, he's my tier 1. But Puka Nacua, you certainly got to put him in the mix. And not only is Puka good catching in terms of catching the football, and particularly on third downs, he is really good and active in the run game. And I know people say, "Oh, he's a receiver. What does that have to?" No, by his ability to be so effective in the run game helps set up things for him in the passing game as well as the entire team. But Puka does a little bit of everything for this football club. He's certainly one of the top receivers in the league.
Yeah, I mean, Sean McVay in our pre-broadcast meeting on Thursday said that Puka is obviously a top wide receiver, and in the run game, it's like having the top tight end on the field as well. For the run game, he's the top tight end, and for the passing game, he's the top wide receiver. And this is somebody with on the same field as Devontae Adams now. And Adams said that he is way ahead in terms of the nuances of the game, knowing body positioning, knowing the playbook, knowing everything than when in year 3 than when Adams was in his third year.
And
That's what Adams said about him.
And I love that about Devontae, that he is so forthcoming with the guys about where he was in the earlier parts of his career.
Yes.
Devontae worked to get to the point to where he's at. So I really feel like that is very good for that receiver room, that he's so forthcoming like that to his guys. But Puka, man, I would say this. Puka learned from Cooper Kupp. Mm-hmm. And Cooper Kupp is the ultimate pro. I mean, he did everything for the Rams. And so for Puka to be able to learn from Cooper Kupp in that way,
yes.
Now he's going out and he's getting an opportunity to show his worth. But I like Puka. He's a great kid, great energy, great spirit about him, and he loves football.
Justin Jefferson in this conversation as well, obviously.
Yes.
Who's the one that reminds you of you the most?
I would say right now, in terms of how they move and the way they approach the game, I like Tay Adams. I like Devontae Adams. Devontae is so deceptively smooth. Mm-hmm. He's not the fastest of guys, but he understands coverage. He understands leverage. He's slippery. He can catch the football in traffic. He can catch the ball. And he can run routes. He can run pretty much every route on the route tree. And he's exceptional at getting off the line of scrimmage. So Tay Adams, Chase and some of the things that he does with his route running. He's won Jefferson, as you mentioned. So, I mean, I can go on, but those two guys, I would say, Chase and Tay Adams, by the way that they move and how they play, kind of reminds me of some things that I did when I was on the field.
Adams seems to have enjoyed being in the role of not being the guy every snap.
Mm-hmm.
That said, this Sunday,
he'll be the guy.
He's going to be the guy every snap. He's going to be in the role that essentially has gotten him to the Hall of Fame. By the way, he's only 32. He's now not. He and Mike Evans, as they catch touchdown passes, are going to pass each other in the top 10 of the all-time touchdown receiving touchdown category. But he's going to be in that role, and Jacksonville is going to 100% take all their coverage and throw it in the direction of Davante Adams.
Absolutely.
And then it's just going to be on the run game and the tight end groups and see what the Rams can affect against the Jaguar team that just coming off their first game all season without a takeaway. They've been awesome.
They've been great.
Defense.
They've been great. I mean, these are two of the top defenses in the National Football League, Jacksonville and the Rams. And to your point, Tay Adams will have to step up even more in this game. They'll roll coverage to him, but he can beat double coverage. That's not a problem for him. It's not a problem for him being the number one guy, the focal point. That's not a problem. Whittington, Tutu Atwell, Ferguson, Higbee, Williams, Corum, those guys will have to raise up a level, being that Puka is now out of the lineup, because Puka draws so much attention and he brings so much production to that offense. Where do you get it from now outside of Tay Adams? And I think those guys are who I'll be focusing on this weekend in this matchup. And then, to me, Jacksonville is vulnerable on the back end. You know, I think Newsom just came over from Cleveland, and Seattle hit him on a 61-yard bomb. So I'm sure the Rams, they should test that secondary of the Jacksonville Jaguars to see how, to see if they have made any adjustments from last week's game. But two of the best defenses in the league, really good coaching minds, and Coach Sean McVay and Liam Coen, who's the head coach for Jacksonville. What Liam has, he was once in Los Angeles with Sean McVay, so he understands the preparation and how the Rams will be ready for this game. What I like with Jacksonville, they're getting an opportunity now, because Liam had spent some time in Los Angeles. They're now getting an opportunity to understand what it takes to prepare from a detailed standpoint to be really good. I listened to Liam Coen last week in the loss that they had, and he talked about details, not beating themselves, staying focused, handling their jobs and their responsibilities. A lot of what Sean McVay says to his ball club.
I just had a broadcast meeting with Liam Coen about 3 hours ago before coming here. And he talked about how he used an acronym for FAST. FAST stands for something. Each letter stands for something. And he read it off, and he said, I stole that from Sean McVay.
Yeah.
It's what he said.
Yeah.
And in terms of the details that you're referring to, Josh Hines Allen said that this is the most professional practices he's ever been a part of it since he came off the campus at Kentucky 7 years ago. So that kind of all tracks with what you're saying.
Absolutely.
To bring the McVay world to Jacksonville. And in terms of not beating yourselves, I'll tell this quick story also. Liam Coen says that each week on a Wednesday, they have a film session or a slide session about game wreckers. And each week he puts up the game wreckers of the opponent to watch out for, to make sure you don't let these guys wreck the game.
Sure.
He said this week, coming off of 10 penalties last week and losing that game, the game wrecker he put up was the Jacksonville Jaguars logo. To basically
They
say,
beat themselves.
we're beating ourselves.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did they take you basically say the wreckers of our game is us?
Yep.
How did they take that? He goes, well, I didn't exactly put it that way. I'm like, well, you kind of did by throwing the logo up there. And he said they took it really well.
Yeah.
He thinks that and Trevor Lawrence came on right after that part of the Zoom and mentioned the same thing. We're beating ourselves. So he's absolutely selling stuff that's being bought there.
No doubt. And as players, you sitting in that seat and coach pulls up something like that, it eats you up, because you're letting the team down. You're hurting the team.
Correct.
So you do whatever you can as players, as quickly as possible, to correct that. And I got to believe in this game against the Rams, that'll be corrected. And the Rams have some of the similar issues as well. Against the Ravens, they had some offsides penalties. They had some penalties on special teams. So there's been some times where they've hurt themselves. So there's some conversation with them about them not hurting and killing themselves in games. So two teams on the collision course, both coaches echoing the same thing.
Yeah.
They're getting the same kind of toolage, the same type of preparation. I expect for this to be a pretty decent game.
Chopping it up with Torry Holt here for another segment. And we were talking during the commercial break about Travis Hunter, and I think there's going to be more of he's having more snaps on offense than defense. It's not 2-1, but it's almost 2-1 right now. And I think they're going to try to start feeding him the ball a little bit more.
And they should. Yeah, I think he's a tremendous talent.
Even with Brian Thomas on the other side,
even with Thomas on the other side, I think the two of them on the field consistently and more often. Now defensively, you got to look at them a little differently. You got to decide who you're going to try to take away. And then Travis Etienne is nice. He's a heck of a back. But I think Travis's immediate impact, most impactful way, is using him on offense. You can throw a hitch to him, he can make guys miss. You can throw it to him down the football field on deep routes. He can go up and attack the football because he got really good hand-eye coordination. He can run. You can throw screens to him. You can use him as a decoy. I mean, the young man loves the game of football.
Yes.
And he studies it and he works at it. He's very serious about his craft, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I mean, Coen told a story to us as well about how leading up to the Chiefs game, there was a play in practice that Trevor and Travis didn't connect on, and Travis wanted to stay afterwards. Had Trevor stay until they could get it right.
Yeah, see,
and he said Travis finally got it right on the 5th time. They ran the play on the Monday Nighter, and the play was the one where Travis Hunter comes back and jumps over the defender and makes some crazy freak physical play anyway.
See what I'm saying?
So it's like, even if the play's not run perfectly,
he makes it right.
He did make it.
He makes it right. So as a quarterback,
that's unreal.
As a quarterback, right? That's unreal. As a quarterback, I'm like, yo, I want him, coach. I want him on the field more.
Yeah.
Please put him on the field more. But I would ask. I'd be curious to know from Trevor, how many of his receivers, before Travis got there, how many of his receivers were saying, Trevor, let's stay after practice and work on some things. To me, that's the difference. That sets the tone for a football club. A young rookie receiver says, hey, Trevor, let's stay after practice so we can get it right. If I'm on that team, I'm like, yo, as a veteran, I'm checking myself. Like, he's helping to bring the level of play and concentration and details and he's bringing that level up for that club.
The best team in the National Football League is Torry Holt. Finish the sentence.
Woo, best team in the National Football
Entering
League.
the rest of Week 7.
Entering the rest of Week 7. Oh, man, that's a good question, Rich.
I only asked those, Torry.
You do. And there's so much, to me right now, there's so much parity right now in this league.
Yes.
I don't think there's no one right now that's saying I'm the number one team right now.
I mean, it's certainly with the Eagles and Bills having dropped 2 in a row.
They dropped 2 in a row.
The Colts and the Bucks are 5-1.
Colts and the Bucks, you can say. If I had to pick between those two, I would say the Bucks. And here's why. I think Baker Mayfield and the level that he's playing at,
yes, sir,
is pretty outstanding. He's raising the Mike Thomas. I mean, not Mike, but Mike Evans, who's one of my favorites. You mentioned route receivers. He's one of my favorites. He's out. Obviously, Godwin is out. But the guys that he's playing with, Emeka, Puka, and other guys, their level of play is rising. And I think a large part of that's because of Baker Mayfield and his leadership.
He's been unbelievable.
Yeah, and then Ty Bulls in their defense, they're going to compete and get after you. But Baker Mayfield is right now is top notch.
The Bucks are atop my power rankings at 1. I don't know if that word's gotten around London about my power rankings. But I still can't quit the Lions, man.
Yeah, and I love the Lions.
I know that they just lost. I get it, to the Chiefs, who are turning a corner. And the Chiefs becoming more of the Chiefs. And Mahomes is having an MVP type season for himself. Just can't quit the Lions right now.
Yeah, the Lions, man. Watching the Lions is, I like watching them guys. It's because offensively they're so good.
What do you think of Amon-Ra? We didn't mention him either.
And he's one of the top wide receivers in the National Football League. Every week I do on my social media on Instagram, I do a big game ballers, and he's appeared on that big game ballers list quite a bit.
Yes,
because of his tenacious attitude, run after the catch. His speed in which he plays is most glaring to me. Yes. Amon-Ra St. Brown plays football really fast. And for corners and secondaries to have to deal with that, it's tough because it's the same look every single time. You don't know when he's getting it or when he's not getting it because he plays at such a speed that's most, like I said, that's most glaring. But his run after the catch, his toughness, he helps to set the tone with that run game. He helps to set the tone for that Lions offense.
Well, I mean,
and team.
You know what you're talking about. Two more NFL records that I did not mention before that you still hold to this day. Consecutive seasons of 1,300 or more yards, 6.
Woo.
Consecutive seasons of 90 or more receptions, also 6. Those are not records in this passing league that is still standing today. So I'm just going to say this point blank. You should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The fact that you are not is outrageous. I know you don't want to say anything, and you shouldn't, because it's one of those. It's like Fight Club. You don't want to talk about it,
right? But
you deserve to be in, and you should be in. Who's pounding the table for you? Is there somebody who's pounding the table for you in that room?
Yeah. So my presenter, Howard Balzer, goes to bat every year for me. He goes back to
the St. Louis days, correct?
Yeah, he goes back to the St. Louis days.
Okay,
yeah, Howard Balzer. And I've been a finalist now 6 straight years. So it's been 6 straight years that he's had to go in and argue my case.
Correct.
And from what I'm told, and then talking with him, he does a heck of a job of going in and making a case for me every single year. So I'm back in the runnings again this year. It's a tremendous honor to be mentioned amongst the league's greats. And look, I enjoy playing the game, Rich. I mean, you know that. I mean, you've been around me. I enjoy playing. I took pride in playing the game at a very high level. My goal from when I was drafted to St. Louis is I wanted to play for one team and one team only. And I was close to doing it. I played with the Rams for 10 years, and then I played 1 year in Jacksonville. So, and then being a part of a Super Bowl team, bringing a Super Bowl to a city, bringing conference championships, breaking numbers of records. My work's done, man, and I enjoyed it. And again, I did it at a high level, and I did it amongst other great wide receivers that we often talk about. I was right in the mix from a production standpoint. I was right in the mix with those guys, so I couldn't be any more pleased with how my career has ended out. Now, the Hall will be obviously icing on the cake and great validation for my pro football career.
Yes,
but the respect that I get from the guys that I played against and played with, that means all the world to me.
Well, and you get it. And this year's going to be tough again.
Yep.
Larry Fitzgerald on yesterday, who's second on the all-time receiving yards list. It's his first time up. But I also spoke to him about Anquan Bolden, who's also waiting just like you, deserving to get in. And all I will just say is this, is just, you are such a delightful human, and you just don't get down about it. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
No, please,
no, I appreciate that.
I will tell you this off the air also. I remember Harry Carson. He once told the Hall, take my name out of consideration. I'm sick and tired of waiting, and I'm sick and tired of being on pins and needles and not hearing my name. And the year he got in, he said, screw it. On the day of the announcement, he went to Hawaii. And he got off the plane. He turns his phone back on, and he's like, you have 50 messages. And he got in, and to this day, I see him there in Canton, Ohio, and a guy who was so pissed at the circumstances and was famous for that.
Yeah.
Goes back every year, happy-go-lucky, hunky-dory. All that weight only just makes it that much sweeter. Because you will get in. Your numbers support it.
Thank you.
Your personage and your personality supports it.
No doubt.
All of it.
Appreciate that. No, you're
welcome.
I haven't gotten to the point yet where I called the Hall and said, "Hey, take my name."
I'm just with you. The extreme example
totally.
Of somebody who walks around with a jacket and a bust.
Totally with you. And I've ridden every emotional wave that you can ride on this journey.
Right.
I've ridden every emotional wave, and but I still have hope. Every single year when it comes back up, I still feel like I'm going to get voted in that year.
Yeah.
Every single year. So to your point, at some point, hopefully the voters will see it that way, and I'll be getting a call and saying, "Hey, you're the next. You're next in terms of being in the Hall of Fame."
Right, and then everyone that you played with, will be there.
Marshall, Nias, Kurt. Orlando,
they're all
Isaac
from your team.
Yeah, and
Vermeil, Dick Vermeil,
Coach Vermeil, all the guys that I went to war with, all the guys that I battled with in practice, and and worked, and we all loved and had a passion for what we did. Again, I think being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, as we all know, really validates what you are as a football player.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting my turn.
You're in the NC State Hall of Fame.
I'm in the NC State Hall of Fame. I'm in the College Football Hall of Fame. I'm in the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame. I'm in the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. I'm in the Rich Eisen Sports. I'm in the Rich Eisen Sports Hall of Fame.
That's the most important one of all. I mean, I know we're talking about Canton.
So Canton, whatever, Canton.
Let's just check ourselves right here.
Torry,
exactly.
you said you thought about it. Do you ever sit and think, like, this is the reason I'm not in? Do you ever just kind of question and kind of just think about it?
Initially, I would say the first 3 years I did that, it even had me to the point, my wife can attest to this as well, it even had me to the point questioning myself, like,
I know.
Like, no, I'm really like,
I understand.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like
right.
I'm like, was I?
No,
was
you
I
were
good? Like, or was I not? So now I'm to the point now. It's like, hey, you look at all the statistics and you look at everything and how it all stacks up. I'm like, yeah, I belong. I belong. So, this is part of the process. This is part of the process, and I'm learning to embrace it and try to find joy in it and accept it. But it's never easy. It's always exciting getting to the point when the hall comes back around, and then when they call out the names, it's like it's like a gut punch.
Right.
And then you deal with those emotions, and then after a month or two, and then they go away, and then you get back to to your normal life. But it can be nerve-wracking, having to deal with it. And for me, it's more when I watch my wife and my kids and my grandmother who's still alive and my pops who's still around. They want it so bad because they want to be there when it actually happens. So I feel bad for them a lot of times. But I quickly just try to get rid of it. Get away from it, and then and get back to life.
Well, you are the man, and thank you for coming on here.
Thanks for having me, man. Thank you. Absolutely.
That's Torry Holt here. Ryan Clark of ESPN joining us next on the Rich Eisen Show in hour 2. Got a couple more minutes left here on Disney Plus. Sometimes I can't help myself and drag high-class people like you down to my level, but I'm going to do this right now. I was thinking about this on the way in. You're a North Carolina State Wolfpack Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
Okay. You once upon a time lost a Super Bowl to a team coached by a guy who's now struggling at North Carolina.
Yeah.
So are you taking any special sort of excitement on Bill Belichick?
Look at my wife. Do it again.
Difficulty.
We've been loving it. We have been loving it. What? Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
This is our way of laughing or having some fun with Carolina without even having to say anything. It's great. So it's been awesome. We've been loving it. But no, I think Coach Belichick. We all know that he's a wonderful coach.
Sure.
College is certainly different from pros in the way it is now with the NIL and everybody else involved. I think Coach and his crew, they have to consider the humanity part of it, the human part of dealing with young people and families in the collegiate ranks. And I think they strayed away from that in a way. I think now because they've been catching so much criticism, I think now that's being reeled back in. And I think I think eventually at some point they'll right the ship. But right now, man, I hope they lose every game.
Well, they're pretty much doing that right now.
Right, that's right. And then the last game of the season, they got to come to Carter Finley. At NC State.
And what's going to happen?
He'll feel it. He'll feel it.
See, I knew I was on to something.
Yeah, the Wolves will be out. Believe that.
Howling.
Okay.
Yes. There you go.
No doubt.
Fantastic. All right. See, I knew I was on to something here about. I was thinking about that. I mean, no love lost between the Rams and the Patriots.
Yeah, and my wife is like, my wife called it. She has been getting a kick out of his failures. Like, she has been loving it.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.